Good morning, everyone. It's a busy week at Unity. It's a busy few weeks at Unity. I'd like to begin this morning. I should always introduce myself. I'm Ann Hudgens, and I currently have the pleasure of serving as the president of the Unity Council. Unity is currently in a transition period, where we'll be looking for our new spiritual leader starting in January. So we're a horde of volunteers, and as Jim called us last week, a team of spiritual leaders. So there's a whole team of us that are bringing unity to you and into the future as we work together to move our unity forward. Good morning to folks online. I wish I could see you, but I'm waving at the camera. I'm getting better at this. And I'd like to ask if we have anybody who's new here today, first or second time. Any newcomers today? I don't see anybody. If there is anybody who's new, Julie is in the back, and she will make sure that you get online packets. And I also want to just spend a second talking about the notion that all are welcome here. So you will see in the bulletin Jim and Sharon's description of their Christmas Eve service, which will be a metaphysical understanding of the Christmas story. But they very sweetly say in their description that all are welcome. And when we were putting together our sign outside, we started with the idea that all are welcome, and then remembered that in our country, in our current situation, there are folks who have been and continue to be marginalized that don't necessarily see themselves in all are welcome. And so we want to specifically say all spiritual paths are welcome here. LGBTQ plus folks are welcome here. Persons of color are welcome here. All identities are welcome here. And we spell that out to make sure that that's truly known, because all are welcome doesn't necessarily resonate with folks who have been marginalized. So Unity of Fort Collins means it. All are welcome here. All of your identities are welcome here. Leanne, do you want to do some announcements?
Sure.
This is the busy stuff.
It's a busy day. I'll use this one. So if you took an ornament from the giving tree for some of our Unity families that we've adopted this year, today was the day that those are due back. If you somehow didn't quite get there, just talk to me and we'll figure it out. We're also doing our mostly annual bake sale and craft fair today, and we're gonna hold that back in the Friendship Room, which folks who've been here longer might remember it as the big room. So what we're gonna do at the end of the service is line up by that door that goes into the hallway and line up down the hallway, and then we'll have people go into that room 6 or 8 at a time. We're gonna try to keep everybody safe, and please keep your masks on. And I just brought a couple of examples of some of the things we have back there. We have some fresh holiday floral arrangements, and I brought Robert's famous crack candy as an example of some of the homemade baked goods. There's all kinds of stuff, banana bread, there's all kinds of crafts, there's all kinds of Christmas gifts. So everything back there is available for a love offering for Unity. Thanks.
I also want to mention today that after the service, there will be a rehearsal for the Christmas Eve cast of symbolic characters. So you'll meet with Sharon and Jim. All right. I want to mention some upcoming programs. As you're probably deeply aware, Christmas Eve is upon us. The service will be here at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve. It's the metaphysical meaning of the Christmas story, and we're grateful to Jim and Sharon for putting on the production. There's a ton of music, Christmas Caroling Deluxe, and we are the choir. Sharon will be doing 2 services after Christmas Eve. The 26th, she will be talking about praying with people as a prelude to the chaplain training, prayer chaplain training. And there's a unity art to praying with people that's not, that's figuring out how to be with people where and who they are, rather than creating a prayer that doesn't match with them. So it's really the art of being with people in a heart space. So Sharon's going to do a service on the 26th talking about praying with others. And then on January 2nd, we'll have a burning bowl type ceremony, which is letting go of the past and welcoming in the new year on the 2nd. All right. You can read the other announcements in your bulletin, and we'll get going. It's my pleasure, my deep pleasure, to call up the Unity Men's Choir, men's group. Thanks for coming, guys.
We actually like to refer to ourselves as the Unity Boy Band. It's an old boy band, but it's... I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. Together we're composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. Divine love is not a spoof. This bright light that radiates within you. As time goes by, the more you share, it shines in all. It is so rare. You often feel the urge to hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Maybe I've been here before. I know this place, I've walked this floor. I used to be alone before I knew ya. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march. It's an open heart and it's a hallelujah.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
'Twas the time you let me know and shared your soul, your flame aglow. I drew you close, your touch then mine did move ya. And time stood still for me and you. The apple tempts the tried and true, and every breath we drew was hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
This morning's reading is from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and the topic is on reason and passion. And the priestess spoke again and said, "Speak to us of reason and passion." And he answered, saying, "Your soul is oftentimes a battlefield upon which your reason and your judgment wage war against your passion and your appetite. Would that I could be the peacemaker in your soul, that I might turn the discord and the rivalry of your elements into oneness and melody. But how shall I, unless you yourselves be also the peacemakers, nay, the lovers of all your elements? Your reason and your passion are the rudder and the sails of your seafaring soul. If either your sails or your rudder be broken, you can but toss and drift, or else be held at a standstill in mid-seas. For reason, ruling alone, is a force confining, and passion, unattended, is a flame that burns to its own destruction. Therefore, let your soul exalt your reason to the height of passion, that it may sing. And let it direct your passion with reason, that your passion may live through its own daily resurrection, and like the phoenix, rise above its own ashes. I would have you consider your judgment and your appetite even as you would two loved guests in your house. Surely you would not honor one guest above the other. For he who is more mindful of one loses the love and the faith of both. Among the hills, when you sit in the cool shade of the white poplars, sharing the peace and serenity of distant fields and meadows, then let your heart say in silence, God rests in reason. And when the storm comes and the mighty wind shakes the forest and thunder and lightning proclaim the majesty of the sky, then let your heart say in awe, oh, God moves in passion. And since you are a breath in God's sphere and a leaf in God's forest, you too should rest in reason and move in passion.
When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can
Wow. I am moved this morning. There's lots of energy happening here. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce our speaker, Nancy Hughes. Nancy has joined our community and been part of us for a while at this point, and she volunteered to come forward with a message for us today. So I want to introduce Nancy a little bit. Nancy began her study in metaphysics when, at the age of 17, she experienced her first of many mystical events that caused her to powerfully question the true purpose of life. This catapulted her into a lifetime journey to arrive at new, more authentic understandings of truth and the reality of spiritual life in this physical plane. Her unceasing study started with Ernest Holmes and Science of Mind, along with Charles Fillmore and Unity. She then found a long-term teacher in the works of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky with Fourth Way study. She became an ordained minister in this study after years of self-work and teaching. Nancy's passion in teaching is at its highest when examining symbols of the Bible and creating a space to question and scrutinize them through the eyes of metaphysical understanding, causing a paradigm shift in thinking that catalyzes a transformational process that can redefine life. Please join me in welcoming Nancy.
Not yet. Yeah, there we are. Now I hear me. Yeah, that's, oh my God, I'm blown away. The music was amazing. Thank you guys so much. Oh. I'm speechless right this second, if you can believe it. That bio, I apologize. That bio was so crazy. It sounds, well, anyway. Good morning, everybody. The energy in this room is overwhelming right now, and I love it. It's absolutely incredible, and thank you, everyone, for taking part. Most of you probably don't know me, and she told you a little bit about me. I've been here for about 6 months now. My daughter has lived here for many years and has been kind of nudging me to come, and after I decided to retire a few years ago, I decided, okay, now's the time to do it. So I made the move, and I did it, and I've never looked back. I've absolutely loved being here. Today I wanted to talk about crossroads in our lives and how to become conscious creators, co-creators in our lives. We all have these crossroads, and that's why the Josh Groban song just gives me chills. We all know the crossroads. We all face them. Some of them are really large crossroads that'll knock us to our knees, while others are kind of small, and then, we can kind of get through them quickly. Some are instigated, and it's pretty easy to see how we got ourselves there and why we got ourselves there. Others kind of come out of the blue and totally hit us by surprise. They make us doubt ourselves sometimes. They can drive us down a little bit of a dark path. But the truth is that we're co-creators of our world, whether we know it or not. Whether we even recognize it, whether we even want to accept it or not, we are co-creators of our world. And I think the change has to be, it was for me anyway, to learn to become a conscious co-creator. Most of what we do is pretty unconscious. It just kind of happens in our world. And that means becoming more and more conscious of the daily stuff in our lives, what we are doing on the daily level. Author Peter Kingsley says, if you are lucky, at some point in your life, you will one day find yourself at a complete dead end in your life. If you go to the left, it's going to lead you, but straight to hell. Turn to the right, you're going to go straight to hell. You try to go forward, it's going to take you the same place. And you certainly don't want to head back because you just left it. So you have options, but none of those options seem to be what you really want. We've all been there. It can be quite shocking. It can be extremely uncomfortable. It is, I think, though, at that point that your higher self is presenting a moment for you to join forces and absolutely change your life, giving you the opportunity to begin co-creating in your life consciously, the opportunity to find that treasure. The question's always going to be, are you going to accept it? Are you going to recognize it? Or are you not? We always, always have that choice. I think every event that we have in our life, there's a takeaway from it. And that takeaway is going to be one of two things. It's going to either support the story that we have built to this point, which is important. It got us here. But how much longer do we want to hang on to that story, or do we want to create a new one? And that's our other option. Do we want to begin anew and create a new story about ourselves? There's no pressure, because it doesn't matter really what you choose. Either way, life is going to bring those events to you. So eventually you're going to need to learn what you're here to supposedly learn and do. I don't know who said this, but there's something I've always heard, and it says, pain happens, but suffering is a choice. We all have pain in our life, but we choose if we want to do the suffering. Okay. I love Rumi. He's one of my favorites. And he says, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself. Because that's where it begins. It has to come from within us. I don't know how vibration in here feels to you guys, but I'm still tingling from everything this morning. The vibration is so high and it's so good. And we all are affected by that vibration. I don't think anybody could walk in this room and be in a bad mood right now and last long. They'd either change their mood or they'd walk out the door because they couldn't stand it, because the vibration is so high and it's so good and it's so radiating. And that's what we do. We have that effect on the world. The road to self-consciousness can appear to be overwhelming and difficult. We hear about the words of light and love and self-work, and we repeat them, but we can get lost on how to apply them. And this is the perfect season for us to be reminded of that, because we are the light. That light is within each and every single one of us, because we are the Christ consciousness. That is our reality. And this is significant, because whether you recognize it or not, it is. I want to take a couple of minutes here to share a little bit of my personal journey. I'll try not to go over time, I promise. As I said, I'm from East Tennessee. Well, I don't know if I said that or not, actually. I was from East Tennessee, and I was raised a Southern Baptist. Kind of different than Unity. But I always felt a little struggle with my teachings, and I couldn't buy that I had a creator who was ready to love me at one moment, but then ready to send me to hell the next one. So it just never felt right to me. And it sounded a little schizophrenic, to be honest. So my struggles got kind of intense. They really did. I think I was born. I came out of the womb about 12 years old, actually, because the pastor showed up one night at our home, my parents' house, and they didn't ask my parents. They basically told my parents to not bring me back to Vacation Bible School anymore because I argued with the teacher too much. Yeah. Now, do you think that was a coincidence? Nah, probably not. I think it was really my unconscious manifestation, and I know my younger brothers loved it. Thank you very much for them. But it was an unconscious manifestation. It was totally humiliating for my parents. Trust me. Oh, yes. So we became Methodist. Now, I found a little more peace with the Methodist Church. At least the minister didn't look like he was going to stroke out at any moment. His face was going to pop open. For those that have been to Baptist evangelical service, yeah. I loved the music. I loved the choir. I loved the pipe organ of the Methodist Church. And I found more inner peace with that environment than I did with the previous, but it still wasn't feeding my soul. And even though I didn't know what the heck my soul even was, I just knew I was discontent, and I just wasn't feeling it right. My parents called me a moody child and prayed for me a lot. It was during my later teenage years that I found metaphysics, much to Mom and Dad's dismay. But I found a totally new way of seeing myself and the world, and I found that it really resonated with me. It gave me hope. It gave me hope that, in fact, I did have a reason for living, and that there was probably a purpose for my life somewhere down the road. Because these were things I had never had the opportunity to really contemplate until then. And I found those ideas simply magical. I really did. All right, to make a long story a little shorter, I spent the next 20 years reading, attending workshops, teaching, studying, and feeling pretty good about my life. I felt like I was on the path I really needed to be. So without boring you with details, I all of a sudden hit the big trifecta of my life. It involved my son in a jet ski wreck, my husband leaving, and me leaving a job, all within a 2-week period of time. It was very traumatic. I found myself completely numb, just completely numb in life. I didn't even know what was right in front of me. I couldn't even do what was right in front of me. My reaction was to simply shut down. And I did for a little while, and that was okay. It's what I needed to do. The situation made me dive into my self-image and question everything about who I thought I was and what I thought I was to be doing. I reached a point I completely stopped teaching. I didn't probably teach for another 10 years. I felt that everything had completely blown up in my face, and I wasn't about to try to teach somebody else anything. It was all about me at that point, and I was having to choose whether I wanted to survive or not survive. My dive took me to places that helped me to recognize patterns, though, that I had created in my life. It was kind of surreal because I could just almost see the dominoes that I had lined up in my life and how at that moment, dunk, all of them fell. Now, that was important to me because it made me very conscious that I was, in fact, a co-creator. And it doesn't matter whether, as I said earlier, it doesn't matter if we recognize it or not, but it required a huge shift in my thinking. We fail to see the absolute magnificence and the significance of our being. I was still, unbeknownst to me, working with the order that I had been taught early in life, that we are humans struggling to find our spiritual nature, but that actually we're very unworthy of it. This is a very painful and fearful vision of life. It's a very painful paradigm to live under. The possibility of something good happening to you only if you walk this certain line. My moment had arrived, and it was now decision time for me. I'd been introduced to spiritual beings having a human experience, and for Pete's sakes, I was trying to teach it. But I was still finding in myself that I was filled with fear, regrets, and tons of feelings of unworthiness. That was a huge one for me. Even though I was saying the right words, something was missing. And for me, the missing link, because I had done everything intellectually. I had attended workshops, I had read books, I had done all the intellectual side of it. And as we talked, as was read by Ellen, and thank you, Ellen, the passion and reason. Those are two parts of yourself. Those are your male-female aspects of you. And it's very important because it requires the male and the female aspect of you to create in your world. The logic, the reasoning side of ourselves, that requires the internal going in and listening, going in and hearing that inner voice. And then the passion of taking that and running with it. I had the logic and I had the reasoning ability, and I did a lot of meditating, but I didn't have the passion because I didn't trust. I didn't trust, and I didn't feel worthy of it. That was my issue, and it took me years to figure that out. Jesus reached such a point and a connected level of consciousness that he became the Christ. which means anointed one, blessed one. He tapped into that sea of potential to perform what most people would call miracles. I kind of think that they were just simply higher consciousness laws manifested, because we all are here to do just that, and we can do just that. Christ couldn't see poverty. He couldn't see suffering, because he understood the laws at a deeper, deeper level of joy and abundance. We are the Christ consciousness, and we're here to express those same laws. I was afraid of my passion. It scared me to death. And I felt unworthy, as I said before, to express it. That was my hang-up. We're here to draw from that one God-created well, that experience, and bring light into our world. That's how we change our world. It's the light of that, giving it that vibration, the light of the Christ consciousness. And I know to a lot of people that sounds so simple, and it sounds way too easy. But our egoic mind just wants to complicate everything to protect itself. It is all about being, not doing. Most of our doing is that ceaseless egoic chatter that goes on in our minds all the time, while being is the silence of God. And that's what that deep well of silence within. Rumi says silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation. And I think we heck of a lot do a lot of poor translating. That doesn't mean that we sit on our rumps all day and meditate our navels. But it does mean that we stop the chatter and we allow ourselves to be guided. That's difficult for a lot of people, but you don't have to try so hard. Simply focus on a task that you're doing and feel it and appreciate it. I have found one huge thing in my life as well, gratitude. Gratitude will open the floodgates to everything to your soul. It's awesome. It's magical. Taking short meditations, walking in nature, sitting and listening to the sounds of nature, listening to music, any of these things that you can do daily, just for a few minutes daily, will open up and will help you to calm yourself and calm your mind. It's a gift to yourself. It's your gift to yourself. And this is the season for gifts. Give yourself that gift. Gifting yourself with this practice and with your own practice will soften. And I love that word, and Leanne introduced me to that word, sweetie. Soften and quieten you. Softening is so important. It's resulting in your higher vibration of reasoning joining with your higher vibration of passion. Excuse me. Allowing magic to happen in your life. And you're now experiencing being a co-creator in life. I want to share one last thing, and I promise I'll hush. I traveled to New York over Thanksgiving to see my son and his family. I have two granddaughters, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. And being the typical Nana, I was hugging on my 3-year-old, love her dearly. And I was running my fingers through her hair, and I think I kissed the top of her head. And all of a sudden she looks up at me and she goes, Nana, I remember when I was the adult and you were the child. My heart stopped for a split second. I mean, did it shock me? Yes. Did it shock me? No, because I definitely believe in all that. She's 3, though, and she'd never been taught any of that. Never. It was a real moment between the two of us. My response was I your child? And she said, yes. I didn't want to question her. I didn't want to interrogate her like I wanted to. And I said, but I just replied and I said, sweetie, thank you for loving me and taking such good care of me. To which she answered, you're welcome, and then tried off. No biggie. Okay. That was a life experience for me. I can never, ever, ever, ever again question life. I've seen it through the eyes of a 3-year-old. Thank you. Namaste. Yeah, you're way here. Let me turn off too. You don't need my voice anymore.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere. And every thought need a prayer. May the blessings of God be upon you. Let it belong in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May your peace be right in me. May your presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God be upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's blessings illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
I just want to say a short congratulations to you all. Last week, we put over $5,000 in our bank account that was earmarked for the, I can't help call it a matching fund, but we're matching that, so, toward the 12,000, so thank you so much.
We've come to the time in our service where we offer our blessing, our financial blessing to Unity of Fort Collins. We don't pass baskets anymore because of COVID, so there's offering baskets in 2 places, and we welcome your gift of support. Would you join me in the prosperity prayer? Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thanks, God. All right, Leanne.
She's probably just going to start playing, but this is Leanne Allen, and she She's a beautiful gift to our community and a singer-songwriter. And this next song is by Leanne L.
Thank you,
That's
Gerald.
beautiful.
Don't talk it up yet. Don't set their expectations too high. It is called All Things Will Be Fine. And sometimes I need to listen to that. Once again, it's time to say goodbye to life as we know it, and starting over can feel so cruel. A game of chutes and ladders, and you're falling down the chute. Oh, and home isn't home yet. Let's try to think of this as a beginning. Let's not get caught up in wheels that keep spinning. In time, all things will be fine. From here we may not see the beauty of mystery. Take comfort in that usually hindsight is 20/20. Let's try to think of this as a beginning. Let's not get caught up in wheels that keep spinning. In time, all things will be fine. Believe, embrace the mystery. In time, all will be fine. Believe, embrace the mystery. In time, all will be fine. Once again, it's time to say goodbye to life as we know it. Let's try to think of this as a beginning. Let's not get caught up in wheels that keep spinning. In time, all things will be fine. All will be fine. All will be fine. Believe,
Trust the mystery.
embrace the mystery.
Life will begin again.
In time,
Trust the mystery.
will be fine.
Life will begin again.
Believe,
Trust the mystery.
embrace the mystery.
Life will begin again.
In time, all will be fine.
Will you all circle up for the peace song? You may hold hands with someone you came with, and don't touch the ones you didn't. And let's start first with the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.